Welcome, everybody. It's just your pink girl and her pink world here on every social platform. Matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, hey, Facebook, me, J News' YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to the good brother, J News. J News, you got something to tell the good people?
Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to another episode of Hit the Ropes podcast, covering this week that was in professional wrestling. Got some stuff to get to today. Hopefully, everybody's doing all right. And let's get to it, Dolores.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, and it's time to switch over to the Hit the Rope studio. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, me and J News, we over here back again. And it's time to go for us to go way back to the playback so we can get ready for the what? For the review. Ladies and gentlemen, it's review time. We're going to start off with WWE, and we're going to start off with Monday Night Raw. And Monday Night Raw was 1677 on the 14th. We had a non-title tag match with the Judgment Day, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez defeating the Kabuki Warriors of Asuka and Kairi Sane. We had the WWE Women's Intercontinental Title #1 contendership best 2 out of 3 falls match, where Lyra Valkyria beat Bayley 2-1, as you see how the pins went down. We had Nikki Bella defeating Chelsea Green. For the WWE World Heavyweight Title #1 contendership gauntlet match, we had my boy CM Punk defeating Braun Breaker, Jey Uso, LA Knight, and Penta. So, J News, did you see any of this? What did you think?
I think Monday escaped me. I watched everything from Tuesday on. From what I'm aware of, this particular episode of Raw was after the Seth Rollins injury, right? So they had to pivot a bit with certain things. And
ironically, they were in after the shows in Atlanta. That Monday night was in Birmingham, which we all know that's where the doctor is for WWE.
Yeah, so they pivoted to whatever they had to pivot to, storyline wise. So there was that going on, and then for all intents and purposes, they still have the feud going on between the three ladies, be it Bayley, Lyra Valkyria, and Becky Lynch for the time being. They're concentrating more on Lyra and Bayley, with Becky being the champion, being the overseer, basically seeing as to what's happening, seeing what ended up happening between those two. The Kabuki Warriors seem to be back together for the time being. Even though the Judgment Day retained their championship, the ladies, Raquel and Roxanne, so they're getting along swimmingly from what I can notice.
Right now, it almost seems like Finn is setting up this thing where Roxanne is going to take her man, her friend, and her family. And so it's like he's pushing this. Raquel was the only one who's like, I'm not going for this. But after Evolution, it seems like she is now like, oh, you're not so, I could be friends with you. You're not so bad after all. Like that. And Finn is cheating from ear to ear. And it seems like what gets me about this storyline is it seems like the storyline from before happening again. So you had Mommy get kicked out. Damian Priest went along with her. Then it seemed like then Liv took Mommy's man. took her friend, moved on. Now it's happening again to Liv. It kind of sounds like the old thing is how you get them is how you lose them. And she losing her man to another woman like she got her man. And the craziest thing is like they are playing up on this. The only thing I don't like about it is they're playing up that Dom is this child. He is past the child at this point. It's like uh when they won on Monday, it was like, well, Dom is gonna get some chicken nuggets from Roxanne as a reward for helping them. And I'm like, he a grown man. I don't I don't get this whole like y'all treating him like a kid. He don't know no better. Obviously, at this point, his character is grown, but he knows a lot. So why are we still playing stupid?
Yeah, I mean, that's just the way that they're writing it for now, I guess. Make trying trying to make it somewhat entertaining for folks or digestible to folks at the end of the day. But we'll see where it all ends up. I think, I mean, for me at least, speaking for myself, the whole Dominic Mysterio acting like a child, and when he's in his early to mid 20s and stuff like that, didn't necessarily it rocked for a bit of time, but he's been with the company for several years now. So at this point, some maturation and differentiation in his character should hit. But if this is still going over with the fans, they're going to stick with it. So we'll see where it goes.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, me and Jay News, we're gonna go to the back. And we're gonna talk about NXT, ladies and gentlemen. NXT was on the 15th on the CW. Had a few matches, more promos and stuff. It was Dark Slate, Dion Lennox, Osiris Griffin, Shaquan Sugars. I think that's how you pronounce it. Versus Joe Hendry, Mike Santana, and Trick Williams. They ended in a no contest. You can't put people who get along together. That's not gonna work. WWE Evolve Women's Title match. We had Kaylee Armstrong defeat Carmen Petrovic. She retained her championship by DQ. We had a triple threat match. Tony D'Angelo defeated Channing Lorenzo and Luca Crucifino. And we had Masha Slamovich, Sol Ruka, and Zaria defeat Fatal Influence of Fallon Henley, JC Jane, and Jasmine Nix. And for those who do not know, Masha is setting up for a title match at TNA Slammiversary. J News, did you see this? What did you think?
Yeah, it seems like I did watch this. It seems like the boys from Dark State have lost all of their momentum and mojo at this point. And this whole no contest thing with Joe Hendry and Mike Santana and Trick Williams and everybody just you know going into a melee was really more or less expected. So it is what it is there. I feel like NXT, their writing, their creative team and stuff like that, after the initial uh, putting of the band together for the boys in Dark State, they didn't have a clear cut plan for them, and it seems like they've lost all of their momentum. The mainline thing to pay attention to, obviously, is the Joe Hendry versus Mike Santana and Trick Williams thing. I believe Slammiversary is tonight, and they're having a triple threat match for the TNA Championship. So we'll see how that goes. I expect a good match out of this between the three gentlemen. I'm just hoping that Mike Santana comes out on top. From my personal point of view, I believe this was Callie Armstrong's first match on NXT. She's looked very strong on Evolve. She's very athletic and things of that nature. Still has some work to do promo wise and things of that nature, and being able to clean certain things up in the ring. But her and Carmen had a decent title match. I believe there was some interference in the match. I forget who came down to.
Yeah, it was some interference that called the DQ. I think it was. I don't forget who it was. I can't remember who it was. But to me, the match was going so okay that you didn't need the DQ. But I can understand why they did it because they They don't want Carmen to get beat, and they don't want Callie to get to lose the title, and so you get the best of both worlds when you mix it in between.
Yeah, and I know they've been having I know they've been having Natty down and Evolve doing some work with the girls down there and whatnot. So I'm not too sure if that was what was going on. I forget who interfered in this match, but regardless of the fact, to your point, Dolores, both girls didn't eat a pin. Nobody lost here, so they both stay strong. And whatever their relative storylines that are currently going on are continue. The Tony D match, for all intents and purposes, I don't know if I've mentioned this before. I know I've been very off and on the last 2 months here on the show, but it seems like they have their social media team over at NXT specifically doesn't seem to be consistent with what's going on with Tony D. I don't see anything that's going on with Tony D at all come up on Tuesdays, and it's like this is one of their mainline stories on NXT going down. And then every time we do the rundown for NXT shows, he's got matches. And it's like, well, I didn't see the Tony D match come through social media. Like, what's going on here?
Well, and I think they're playing on what happened at the Great American Bash. But if you didn't watch the Great American Bash or you didn't know the story before the Great American Bash, unless you need the little promo packages help. But as a fan, if I didn't know what was going on, I'd be like, well, why is this man beefing with these other two men? And it don't make no sense to me.
Yeah, just to understanding the jokes of what's been going on with the family. Obviously, there's a general understanding that Tony D's beefing with Channing. If you didn't, like you said, if you didn't watch Great American Bash, you wouldn't know that Luca Crucifino basically went out on his own and he turned his back. Not only turned his back on Channing Lorenzo, but he also turned his back on Tony D. So it's like all three of them are on their own paths and stuff like that, or whatever the case is. So
that's the thing about it. It's like, did he really turn his back on Channing?
No, he just didn't. He went independent at the end of the day.
Yeah, he didn't really attack him. Yeah. He didn't really attack Tony. And then he reached out for Tony, and Tony was like, well, you made me lose the match, so screw you. So it's like he really hasn't picked himself or the sides. They've left it open-handed where he could say, for the betterment of me, I'm going to choose Channing, or I want to stick by Tony. It's just that Tony rejected him. Channing was like, I'm here. You ain't never came and asked me for no help. So he just was assumed to be like rogue by himself. But really, he could have chose the side. And it just hasn't come to fruition yet.
Yeah, I mean, it makes, in storyline aspect for them and the family, Luca Crucifino not choosing a side makes sense because it was always about the family for Luca at the end of the day. And being that, it's war torn and Tony D and Channing are going to war, yada, yada, yada. Luca didn't want to, still hasn't chosen a side, so it is what it is.
I think he could choose Channing's side. The only reason I said it is before the Great American Bash, they did a whole promo set, like showing from beginning to end how Channing and Tony broke up. And even with the decision of Channing and I forgot the girl's name, Rizzo, going into hiding, it was more like Tony made these decisions and the two of them were like, hey, we don't want to do this. What are you doing? And they had so many instances where they kept saying to Tony, what are you doing? Even Channing was like, what are you doing? This is not the family. This is for you. And he was screaming at them. And then it's like, okay, now Tony, you came back and nobody came back with you. And you fighting the family. They might be closer. And I mean, obviously they're closer than age, but closer because they have been together when you've made stupid decisions for all of them. Because Tony has put them in some bad predicaments.
Yeah. But it's worked that way with both Stacks and Tony D both, where they both have been making dumbass decisions within this whole storyline. So
now where's Rizzo? I've been trying to figure out. I'm like, I thought she might have been injured, but was going to come back. and then she hasn't come back, and I'm like, is this like an injury that like an injury where it's so severe, or is it injury like, oop, I had a 9 month injury?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Because she know when I even looked at the promo package, when he went to her door, she cracked the door open, but she never showed from her neck down.
Mm.
And so that's what made me be like, okay, I never thought about it, but is this like a 9 month accident, or this is just a?
Well, not an
I'm,
accident per se, but you know, it is what it is.
but I'm saying like you don't plan those things out unless you actively going for it. You don't. If you're a wrestler, you might not always plan those things. We learned from Becky Lynch. You might not always plan those things. You might have another agenda, and then it just happens. Bianca is the opposite. She's planning because she's taking precautions to stop it. Now, if it happens, that's that. So I think I don't know. They need to explain it. Why she ain't came back? Luca came back. Why she ain't came back? And she picked a side. And she just like she gonna go on her own. What's gonna be the whole Masha? I love Masha on NXT. I wish she wasn't necessarily friends with Zaria or working with Zaria. I'd rather see them fighting each other because I think that's a match that would be so good.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think that after I went onto social media on Tuesday, it seems like a good portion of the base believes that JC Jane is going to walk away with both titles tonight, and I'm like, you guys can't be like I'm not too sure if people are watching this well enough to understand what's going on. Because Masha's got her match against JC Jane, it's going to be title for title. And it's like the stronger character of the two, the stronger champion of the two is Masha Slamovich. So for Masha to be giving up her title to JC Jane, to me, doesn't make any sense, especially with Trick Williams being TNA champion. Like having WWE talents be TNA champion on both ends of the spectrum, both men and women, to me, that
would mean you either get a DQ or Masha wins both of the championships.
My whole thing is that it's not gonna it's gonna end up like a no contest or a DQ. Like no one's gonna win this per se. Because at the end of the day, if we're doing this straight up from a talent standpoint, Masha should go over. But I don't think that that's going to be the case. This is going to get thrown out somehow. Somebody, whoever else has been beefing with JC Jane as of late, which is most of the other women in the roster.
If you let Masha win it, you got Jordan, you got Monroe, you got all these people she could face that would be good matches. I think Monroe would be a little shaky, but I know I've seen her against Jordan. I think her and Zaria would be really good. Her and Sol Ruka. This whole Zaria and Sol Ruka, they need to break them up immediately.
Why?
Immediately. Because it's like we keep going with the, oh, will they break up? Oh, how many times you gonna accidentally hit each other? Every other week they accidentally hitting each other. Or one is not getting the tag for the other one. It's always this thing, and I hate when they do this where it's like months and months and months and months on end before we realize they don't need to be together.
Yeah, I think that with them, not those two girls specifically, but with the WWE in general, they don't do long-term storytelling with the women's tag team. Women's tag teams, they always end up breaking them up, or something happens or whatever the case is. There's no long-term women's tag teams, and I feel like the two of them throughout the last couple of months have really built a strong, not relationship, but really good chemistry. Zaria and Sol Ruka. At the end of the day, if you're not going to keep them together, then at the end of for me, it's like, why put them together in the first place? Really, when you have all these other girls on the roster who aren't doing anything, right? Because Sol Ruka and Zaria are mainline, basically single stars in the NXT women's division. So to put them two together and still have a bunch of the NXT girls not doing anything on the roster, it's like you could have just done something different with some of the girls who aren't doing anything right now.
Yeah,
So
but also a part of me this weekend also because I wasn't keeping up with the outside social media like I normally do. But is Elena Black hurt?
huh?
Is Elena Black hurt?
Well, I'm not too sure. What does she have to do with anything?
Because something strange happened this weekend. She was supposed to have a match with her tag partner Priscilla Kelly to go against the Cougar brothers.
Okay.
They did the promo,
Hmm.
they did everything. Priscilla Kelly comes out by herself. Elena Black is nowhere to be found.
Hmm.
And it was strange because GCW never mentioned why she wasn't there.
I don't know.
And WWE has a way of circling people back around when they see you doing good. And a part of me wondered if she is coming back or she's going somewhere else because GCW normally, if somebody's not showing, they go on social media, they
Yeah, and they
go,
know. Yeah.
yeah, and
Um,
it never mentioned anything. It's just that she just never came out.
I'm not. Yeah, like I said, I'm not sure. I don't know. I wasn't aware that she was supposed to have another match
And they
on
actually in
GCW.
the promo, you can hear her talking, but her lips weren't synced to it.
Hmm.
And so it looked like maybe an old promo that they just recorded her voice and just put it onto it.
Hmm.
But they mentioned in the promo and showed that when she left for WWE, uh, Atticus Cougar beat her down.
Hmm.
And that's how the match was supposed to come back, was that her and Priscilla left with the WWE. Now they're back and they're working together to go against the person who beat her down to go to WWE. And they kept saying WWE.
Hmm. I don't know.
So that's
I'm not too sure. I mean, at the end of the day, if they end up re-signing her, I mean, that's cool for her, I guess. In that regard, it
I
didn't
don't want
seem.
to see her back in WWE. I think she was doing really good. I think that's the problem with some people. They go to the indies, they're doing really good for a short period of time. WWE sucks them back, and they're not the same anymore. Killer Cross is one of the people I used to enjoy watching him on the indies. I'm like, anytime you said he was on the show, I had to be there. But now I'm like, that's not the same man who I saw at all. Scarlett, even on the indies now, for people who wondering, Scarlett wants to wrestle again. She never even wrestled on the indies. So I don't expect her to wrestle now. She's just essentially, I hate to say it, eye candy. But I do want them to let Elena go and wrestle as long as possible to gain her. She's beginning to get better in the ring, better, a little bit better at talking, not as great, but let her keep working on it. Don't immediately bring her back or, work her into something that she just needs time away.
Yeah, I mean, look at the end of the day, like I said, I'm not too sure as to what's going on. I had no idea they were having that match was scheduled for her on GCW. Hopefully, she's all right. At the end of the day, I've never necessarily been her biggest fan as a wrestler and all that stuff, but you always wish people well in their endeavors and stuff like that, and health and all that stuff. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what happened. So we'll see.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go back in the playback and we're going to go on to SmackDown. Ladies and gentlemen, SmackDown was 13:52 on the 18th. That was Friday. Charlotte Flair defeated Raquel Rodriguez. Damian Priest defeated Carmelo Hayes by DQ. Every time we go to WWE, now we got to get DQ. Stephanie Vaquer defeated Alba Fire. And for the WWE Tag Team title, number one contendership four-way match, we had Andrade and Ray Phoenix defeat DIY, which is Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, the Motor City Machine Guns, which is Alex Shelley and Chris Sabian, and Fraxium, which is Axiom and Nathan Frazier. Jay News, this is another tag team, Fraxium, that I wish they would break up. We went from almost a whole year in NXT where they were knocking each other loose on accident to now we got them up here and they still losing It's like I'm sick of it. I am sick of it.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, uh, they're they're not. Fraxium as a Fraxium is better off as a team than they are as individual wrestlers, just because one, they're both, to use a lesser term, they're both juniors, so they're both cruiserweights. So they don't really, on WWE TV, they don't have a place without them being a team. So if at the end of the day, them being singles competitors ends up making them, for lack of a better term, jobbers. And I don't, for both of them, I'd rather not see that. Um, on top of that, this whole experiment with Andrade and Ray Phoenix seems to be going off well. I mean, they work well together at the end of the day, and they've been doing terrific work together the last couple of weeks since they put them together. So I guess that's a thing for the time being. DIY is DIY. The Motor City Machine Guns are the Motor City Machine Guns. They had it was a great four-way match for all intents and purposes. Good for Andrade and Ray Phoenix to see as to who they take on as the tag team champions. Is it, who are the tag team champions currently? Is it the Street Profits?
No, I think it's the Wyatt Six.
Oh, that's right. That's right. The Wyatt Six. Yes, 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 yes. They were on the show. They were on the show. So yeah, so they'll end up taking on the Wyatts. I doubt that they'll win, but that is what that is. They seem to be doing well with the tag team with Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. So they keep on developing their relationship, for lack of a better term. And Charlotte defeated Raquel for the one-on-one there. Alexa with the help out for Charlotte, so that strengthens, quote unquote, their bond. Damian Priest defeated Carmelo Hayes via DQ. That ended up with Aleister Black interfering and beating down Damian Priest. So they continue their feud on and whatnot, and Carmelo continues to be in matches for the sake of being in matches at this point. That is my personal take from a visual perspective. That I don't know what they're doing with that boy, but time will tell. And then Stephanie seems to be embroiled in her own little feud with Chelsea and Alba and Piper and whatnot. Stephanie does have a shot, I think, in the future for the women's championship, being that she won that battle royal at Evolution. So we'll see how that ends up or where that ends up and all that jazz. But for right now, I think they're going to have Stephanie teaming with Nikki Bella, I think, to go up against Chelsea Green and her Secret Service.
Well, I would say I would. I don't know why I'm leaning because I got a wireless microphone. I would have said maybe Bree, but I don't know if you've seen the interactions between my girl and the women's division. My girl Cardi B, they're gonna put her in there somehow. Because she's the host of SummerSlam the 2 nights.
Who?
And she has been Cardi B. She has been getting into it with Chelsea online, and Naomi jumped in, and her response to Naomi is, "Don't make me go get Jade." And then she's just been going back and forth with Chelsea the whole time. And so I was like, so are you gonna get into it in real life with Chelsea? Because Jade jumped in and was like, I'm always here. No, Jade said, call me. No, not Jade. Bianca said, call me. And Cardi said, I will. We got some stuff to handle. And so at that point, I was like, are we getting this? Hey, Leonica, how you doing?
How you doing, Leonica? The Cardi B thing. I know she's the host for SummerSlam. I know that the WWE in very right now in their immediacy has been leaning very heavily towards their celebrity stuff. But me personally, I don't think Cardi's gonna get involved with anything physically.
That's the thing about it. I wouldn't have thought of it either, but as a Cardi B fan, you have the understand, she has been championed to get into the WWE for the longest time. She's a WWE fan,
No,
and
I know.
she
I'm aware.
wants to do something because she's even mentioned it on the live. Like if Snooki can get in the ring and do a little something, why can't I do something? And so when the opportunity came, she was like, and then on top of that, she's rapped inside her raps about WWE. She has been essentially like hinting and calling them to please come and pick her up. And they finally have picked her up. She's like, I gotta do something. And then all of a sudden, when she mentioned in her new song Outside about the Royal Rumble, I was like, okay, well, if she's gonna now that the endorsement came first with the commercial with Bianca, then she mentions this in the song. Then all of a sudden, the week like 2 weeks before SummerSlam, she's getting into it with Chelsea, back and forth hard. Like they going at it. I'm like, this has to be a sign because the last time we did this, it was with Logan Paul. And now you see him in WWE. Jelly Roll, Triple H explained that Jelly Roll wanted to be a wrestler. I don't think Cardi B gonna wrestle. She might call somebody to wrestle for her. She might slap somebody, but she ain't gonna wrestle. Jelly
Right.
Roll wanted to wrestle. He came, he worked out at the WWE. He said to Triple H, I would like to have um, some of your people come work out with me. But essentially, that was his way of proving to them that he could get in ring shape. And so Triple H said, as he started to lose a little bit of weight, he became faster. They noticed he was doing more. Triple H did send a shot in that press conference at Travis Scott. He sent the shot because he said Jelly Roll comes, he practices, he does the work, he's showing that he can do it. That's why we want him here. If nobody understands, Travis Scott was known to not show up for practice, not to come and do what he's want to. He was maybe on 3 sheets to the wind. And so that's what the shot came from. Is that he's been coming, he's been practicing, he's been doing it, he's been losing the weight, he's shocking us and how he's picking up some stuff. And then Triple H, because they came out of nowhere, was like, and he shows up in practice and does what he needs to do so it can get done. And I was like, oh yeah, Travis, you done left a bad taste in the WWE. You weren't showing up. You said you wanted to wrestle. You smacked Cody to hear the bejesus. And now they are telling you essentially they don't want you back. I was like, I can't blame it. I as Triple H, I can put faith in him that whatever he has to do, it ain't gonna be too much. I don't think she's gonna do too much, A, because I love my girl, but that's not all natural. So she ain't gonna risk messing up some work that she already got done. You ain't gonna smack her in the face. You might just smack her on the cheek. You ain't gonna smack her in the face. You're not gonna body slam her. You're not gonna throw her on the outside. She's not gonna jump over the top rope. She ain't doing none of that. And she might smack you. She might throw in the weapon for somebody. But that's the best you're gonna get out of her. She might raise somebody's hand. She might make a match. But that's as far as she gonna go with it. So I believe that she could do something, but I just want people to keep their hopes at a normal level. She's not going to be doing a hurricane off the top rope. I can tell you that. That's the best she's going to do. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go back in the way back again to Evolution, which I had a watch along for here on the channel. It was on 7/18 on the Peacock channel, ladies and gentlemen. No, not 7/18, 7/13, sorry. It was WWE Women's Continental Title Triple Threat match where Becky retained her championship, defeating Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. We had the WWE NXT Women's Title match. JC Jane kept her championship by defeating Jordan Grace. We had WWE Women's Tag Team Title 4-way match where the Judgment Day, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez defeated Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, Sol Ruka, Zaria, the Kabuki Warriors of Asuka and Kairi Sane. For the WWE Women's Title match, we have Tiffany Stratton defeating Trish Stratus. In a no holds barred special referee match, we had Jade Cargill defeating Naomi. And this is where we get to the good stuff. We had a 20 women battle royal where Stephanie Vaquer defeated Alba Fire, B Fab, Candice LeRae, Chelsea Green, Julia, Ivy Nile, Izzy Dane, Jada Parker, Kalani Jordan, Lash Legend, Lola Vice, Maxine Dupree, Michin, Natalia, Nia Jax, Bella, Piper Niven, Tatum Paxley, and Zelina Vega. Ladies and gentlemen, the last show of that night was for the WWE Women's World Title Triple Threat match. It became a triple threat match when Naomi cashed in her briefcase. So she ends up beating Io Sky and Rhea Ripley to win the championship. Jay News, did you see it? What did you think about it?
The only match that I watched of the show was the main event. It was Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley. I thought that their match was terrific. I thought that by the end of it, when Naomi's music hit, I said to myself, oh, this is perfect. This is a perfect opportunity for her to cash in. It makes all the sense. Both of these girls are freaking wasted at this point. Perfect cash in. Great moment for Naomi for the win there. That's the only match that I got to see live.
You know what? I really like this because when somebody broke it down, it kind of made me think. Naomi went after this title, and she could have went after the other title with Trish and them. She could have went after that, but that would have kept her in the same place as Jade. Jade had mopped the floor with her in the match before, so essentially, she got a chance to win the title. A, great, and B, get away from Jade. So now it leaves Jade and Bianca to beef with each other. And then now it opens the door for Naomi to go to a new brand, face new women. Maybe she felt not only just running away from Naomi, I'm not Naomi, but Bianca, but also maybe thought that some of those women in Monday Night Raw were maybe a little step below. But she got a rude awakening when she ran into Rhea on Monday.
Yeah, no, it gives her new stories. It gives her new opponents to work with. So I think that's definitely a good thing for Naomi and the further evolution of her heel character and things of that nature. So good for her. Good moment. Great moment for her. Great moment for all the ladies having this second evolution show. There was a lot of praise behind the entire show.
I loved it
from the fandom at large. So that's a great look for the ladies. I mean, the show from an audience standpoint, it looked sold out. So they had a great audience there live at the show. So my takeaway from this is that the same thing that Big E said post show. Don't wait another 7 years to put on another one of these women's only women's pay-per-views at the end of the day. I stand myself corrected. I did actually start to watch the show with the women's battle royal. I just easily kind of forgot it just because it just felt kind of thrown together. And then the rest of the show I watched in bits and pieces throughout the week and whatnot. I thought that the Lyra Valkyria, Bailey and Becky Lynch match was strong. Yesterday or 2 days ago, I believe, Asuka came out on her own YouTube channel and she reviewed that match specifically, and she raved about it and things of that nature. And I said to myself, man, at least there are people out there who can appreciate the kind of work that a lot of the ladies are doing, and to hear it from one of their peers was very refreshing, and it was very cool to see somebody review their match outside of the regular uh, internet folk to quote a term or whatever the case is. I know that the Trish Stratus versus Tiffany Stratton match didn't get much time. I know Trish was not happy with the fact that they didn't even get much time to build their match and build their feud. She said that publicly, but they were able to give the fans a good match.
It had sloppy moments, but it was overall good. And I don't think the sloppy moments were all on Trish. It was
No, yeah, because at the end of the day,
Tiffany is known for the sloppy moments. I think the only moving thing, like I even got a little emotional about it, was after Stephanie won. First of all, I'm glad my girl Lash was the last person. And she got there was it the devil's kiss on the ring apron, and that's how she got thrown out. Uh it's the fact that when I saw Stephanie McMahon go in the ring, I was like, oh, we about to have one of these promos. Okay, cool. And then Stephanie turns to her and starts to ask her the question in Spanish and gave her the comfortability to speak her language and to talk to people directly. And then once Stephanie starts to speak English, and she's like, English is not my first language. I'm trying to learn. But she essentially says that wrestling is her first language and that she loves wrestling. And it was a lifelong dream for her to become a WWE superstar. And that she appreciates the opportunity for them letting her be her, even with them letting her speak Spanish. It was a She was very touching. She became emotional. And it's like that's something we would never imagine in W. When I used to watch was it Mexico and the rest of them on the lawnmowers, I never thought I would get an opportunity to see a woman speak her own language and be comfortable and that the one of the top brass at WWE to be like to speak to her, to connect to her in her own language. Whereas we normally like used to that VKM making people speak English and making them do this. This is the opportunity I think for other women who come from other countries, speak other languages, to feel comfortable in the WWE and feel welcomed and not forced to be a certain way.
uh, I agree with your assessment of the moment. I'm not necessarily understanding or knowing if they're going to continue to do this for the long run. So it was to your point, it was a very sentimental and emotional moment for Stephanie, Vaquer, and McMahon at the same time. So I give Stephanie the props there. I've always understood Stephanie to be uh, the more understanding and humanistic of all the McMahons. So at the end of the day, that was not surprising for me to see that particular moment happen. Good on Stephanie. At the end of the day, Vaquer, that is. Hopefully, they don't take too long to give her her shot at the WWE Women's Championship she ends up challenging for, and we can go from there. The only match for me during this event that was more or less forgettable, and this has more to do with my I don't hate the woman at the end of the day because I don't know her, right? Just as a talent, I don't connect to Jade at all. So it's one of it's one of those things where um for years I am not one of those people who is like, oh, you don't follow Instagram models and all that stuff. Jade was one of the original Instagram models. I followed Jade or whatever. She has a great look and physique.
Well, I think Jade was included, and this match was included because
no,
they
for the sake of Naomi, I think. And so
no. Also, if for most people who don't know, Jade is married to an Atlanta Brave, former Atlanta Brave. She lives here in Atlanta. She had many signings during the week here in Atlanta, an event, and so I don't know if she still lives here, but she used to live here, and so she's a part. We welcome her here. Also, for what you saw, and I'm not for sure if Evolution was sold out, I think it was. They had a Beyonce concert across the street.
Yeah, they did.
So you are competing against Beyonce,
Right.
okay? And you need a hometown person in there. So that was also my problem with Saturday Night Main Event. Why you have Cody? You had Goldberg there. We don't with him no more. We want Cody, and you had Cody come out at the end, and people were like losing their mind when you should have had him come or had a match during Saturday Night Main Event.
Yeah, I'm just, to end the part on the ladies show here. I'm just not her biggest fan as a talent, as a wrestler, and things of that nature. I understand what her goal is as to using the WWE platform. I get all that, and I can respect that. But for all intents and purposes, I even since her days in AEW, I've never connected with her. At the end of the day, so that continues. And she's not necessarily. I can understand you saying that she's accepted by the people in the Atlanta area and in Georgia. She's a Florida girl. At the end of the day, she lives in Florida, and all that jazz. And it's. I understand the look. The rest of it just does not.
She's like, I think has the potential of. They see her as having the potential of China, but she has to be more like either she's gonna have to mop the floor with people, or she's going to have to like learn a little bit more. Now, the only thing I didn't like about the whole match was it seemed like Naomi at the end did not want to take the Jaded off the top rope through the table. And she literally throws her hands up like this as she's going down. And like, cause with the Jaded, she holds up under your arms and she just drops you.
Mhm.
Naomi undoes her arms and was just like, hey, I'm about to go through this table. Hold on. And I was like, you gonna have to go through that, my sis. You're gonna, for the sake of both of y'all looking good, you gonna have to let her hold your arms like she was doing and just let you go through the table. And that's the only thing I did not like about the match was that it was hard fought. They tried to knock each other loose. But I think not Lash, Jade has a lot of power, and a lot of the women know that because they've seen if you watch the reality show for AEW, that was a running thing. That they were like, she needs to pull her punches, she needs to pull her thing, and now she pulled all the way back, and it doesn't even look right. She looks like she's like not really hitting you, where she used to look like she's knocking your teeth in the third row. So I think she needs to work with people like Stephanie Valkyrie and Julia and them because they are real hard hitting fighters.
She's
That
gonna
might be her.
she get exposed in those matches.
I
Dolores.
think it might help her a little bit, but you know what will
You
help
don't
her
want
was
that happening.
she has to start off in dark matches. That's what she has to do. Those dark matches with different women.
If they make the time for it, if they make the time for it, I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? If they make the time
she does a lot of she has done some dark matches. So she can do it. It's just the fact that if they could team her with people like that or team her to go against Michin or a Natalia or something like that during these dark matches, that could build her up to like eventually have a feud with these people on TV.
Yeah,
I think the fact that she's not having these matches or practice with the people she's having matches with or feuds with is making it hard. It's like me coming to you and be like, we're gonna do the samba and you don't know how to do it. And I'm like, come on, let's just go on the floor and dance.
Yeah. Absolutely. I definitely understand.
Because the men get the opportunity. Carmelo Hayes and Cody, for weeks, I watched them have dark matches on it seemed like every other show.
Right, they were because they had all the live shows back then, but now with TKO scaling back on the freaking live shows, they don't have that many opportunities. That's why you see a lot of the videos nowadays that a lot of the different both AEW and WWE superstars post on their social medias of them practicing in other wrestling schools. Like Natty's always posting up her videos. I think Charlotte does a lot of training between Natty's school and the flatback school and things of that nature. You always see all of that going down just because they don't have the live shows anymore.
But
So
when you go and check out the matches for the shows, they do at least have 3 or 4 dark matches before or after the show. So like SmackDown, Raw, they have dark matches. So they could do it then, because sometimes these people are not on the show. So you might as well just use them somehow, some way to set up these feuds eventually. And so, because they have room. So if you're gonna do the dark matches before SmackDown, because I have to go through 3 or 4 matches before I can get to the actual show, you could do it then. And so that they have to make the opportunity for these women, because they put on a great show here. They need to continue that on a weekly basis. And they won't do it. And that's sad because they won't do it. And I like NXT because I think Sean lets them be them and show who they are. They get up to WWE and that's not the same. But NXT is WWE, but that's a whole different story. Feel like 2 separate brands. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to AEW. Me and Jay News, we're going way back in the playback. AEW Dynamite. We had Dynamite 302, ladies and gentlemen. It was on TBS HBO Max. Kyle Fletcher defeated Mascara Dorada. We had the Don Callis family of Hechicera and Josh Alexander, along with the Young Bucks of Matt and Nicholas Jackson. Well, now they Matt and Nick back again. Defeating Bandito, Brody King, Jet Speed, Kevin Knight, and Mike Bailey. We had the 4-way match, because I'm not even going to talk about this, because every time I think about it, I get mad. Thekla defeated Chris Statlander, Queen Amanada, and Willow Nightingale. We had a non-title match. It's going to be Jet. Kazuchika Okada defeated Quintero. That's how you pronounce it, Jet? Quintero?
Yeah. I didn't even know who the kid was when he showed up in the ring.
Yeah, and he got beat in a minute and 3 seconds. I was like, this is crazy. Y'all could have said that match. Y'all could say that. Adam Page, Mark Briscoe, and Powerhouse Hobbs defeated Death Riders of Claudio Castagnoli, John Moxley, and Willa Yuta. Did you see this, and what did you think, Jay News?
Yeah, I saw this. This was the Dynamite episode that happened after All In. Strong match for Kyle Fletcher against Mascara Dorada. It seems that CMLL and AEW are working together in the same vein as in Konosuke Takeshita having 3 different contracts with 3 different companies, being AEW, DDT, and New Japan. It seems that AEW and CMLL are now working together in order to have some of the CMLL talent sign AEW contracts, which in turn allows them to be better paid. But it does not take them off of CMLL shows, and that also that does not mean that AEW is planning on buying CMLL. They are a working relationship company, the both of them, and both of their respective owners and bookers respect one another, and they're working together in order to better their brands. But great match between Kyle Fletcher and Mascara Dorada. The beginning of the show actually started with Hangman Adam Page coming out to cut a celebratory promo, in a sense, about him winning his AEW Men's World Championship. One hell of a promo by Adam Page, and we'll see as to what the future holds for Adam Page. It seems like he's going to be going into a feud with MJF and whatnot, and there's still some pieces being left along with what's going on with the Death Riders. The Don Callis family and the Young Bucks match versus Bandito, Brody King, and Jet Speed was a fun PWG style multi-man match as they've been doing lately with the All-Star Tag matches. So I love that. I'm also appreciating the fact that the women, more women are getting highlighted on the shows instead of having just basic one-on-one matches. We're getting to see multiple women on the shows. now with these four-way individual matches with the four-way tag matches. So at least a lot more of the girls are being spotlighted on Dynamite and Collision. Thekla winning here, and them basically pairing her with Sky Blue and Julia Hart. It seems like they'll be making a new women's faction here with Thekla, Julia Hart, and Sky Blue. Not necessarily knowing. I think their team or faction name has something to do with the word sin. I'm not too sure if it's just sin or something else, but we'll see how that develops on TV this week. And Chris Statlander is still in this limbo right now as to what side of the coin she's going to fall under. Be it if she's going to be a babyface, aka a good guy, is she going to be a heel and join the freaking the Death Riders? I don't know where Chris is standing right now, but she's really trying to figure out her way, which is where more or less of where her character lies. Queen Amanada, her and Thekla continuing to show their great chemistry together, so they're still beefing and they're still doing their thing. Willow's obviously still more or less beefing with Chris Statlander. They still haven't had a real blow off match or a real sit down interview type thing where they've really squashed their beef, or at least make it a bigger thing per se. So we'll see how they fit Willow and Chris Stat into the rest of the women's division stuff. The Okada match was a squash match, and then the multi-man tag match to end the night ended with the good guys winning the match. But at the end of the day, we saw Darby Allin in the rafters staring a hole into Jon Moxley. So we are eventually going to get a Darby Allin versus Jon Moxley match. Darby Allin now back since All In, and we are working towards that match and things of that nature. Marina Shafir is more heavily involved physically with things, and we'll discuss that as we get to the episode of Collision. But I thought it was a strong episode of Dynamite this Wednesday. Good stuff for AEW. Lots of different seeds being planted for future storylines and things of that nature as well. So I'm definitely interested as to what's going to happen throughout the rest of the year for AEW TV.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're on to the next show, which is ROH. ROH on Honor Club. You can also find it on ROHWrestling.com. We had Atlantis Jr. defeating Lee Johnson. We had Diamante defeating Maya World in 1 minute and 54 seconds. We had Jay Lethal defeating Michael Oku. And then we had Hechicero defeating Angelico. Jay News, did you see this and what did you think?
I did not. I am not an Honor Club. I'm not an Honor Club member, so I did not watch this.
I would say I am glad to see Michael Oku.
Yeah.
Anytime I see him wrestle, this Jay Lethal match, it was good. And now I'm not gonna say great. I'm not gonna say it's bad. It was just good. It's like middle of the road. So I also appreciate that we're getting more promo packages, but I do want to say it's gonna sound very hypocritical. You went from having like 29 matches, and I was there for a picnic, to now we're down to 1, 2, 3, 4 matches and a lot of promos. So if I could get 1 or 2 extra matches, that'll do me very much well. That'll be perfect for me. Okay, I can't speak for nobody else. We ain't got to go back to 29 matches in a matter of 3, 4 hours. It seems like just let me get at least a good 6 or 7. Okay, then we'll be right on target, Tony. But I do give you credit for not having me all day looking at ROH. Perfect. If you can cut some of them pay-per-views down, we'll be great too. Because I think the podcast Workhorse Wrestling Network came on the same time I did. When I got offline, they were still online for another like hour or 2. So they ended up, I think, doing a whole like almost 6 hours, and that's not even the pre-show. So at this point, Tony, can we just cut that down a little bit? We're gonna go way back in the playback, and we're gonna go over to the next show, which is Collision, ladies and gentlemen. Collision came on yesterday. And it was Alex Windsor defeating Taya Valkyrie. Ricochet defeated AR5. AR5 just getting his butt stomped in every time I see him. Megan Bain defeated Ty Mello. We had the four-way tag team match where the Gates of Agony, Bishop Kong, and Toa Leona defeated the Guns, Austin and Colton Gunn, and Crew, Action Andretti and Leo Rush, and Big Bill and Brian Keith. Kyle O'Reilly defeated Max Caster. Roosh defeated Shibata. Bandito Jet Speed, which is Kevin Knight and Mike Bailey, along with Mascara Dorada, defeated the Don Callis family of Hechicero, Josh Alexander, Lance Archer, and Rocky Romero. J News, did you see this? And what did you think about this show?
Another strong episode of Collision here. I like the match between Alex Windsor and Taya Valkyrie. I feel like Taya Valkyrie has been used as the women's veteran to get new talent over, or to help get new talent over. And I think that this match was strong enough start for Alex Windsor on TV. The match ended after when Alex Windsor won. We then got a promo from Athena in the balcony. And Athena basically interrupted Alex Windsor's, I guess, post-match win celebration or whatever the case is. So they, due to that and the level of disrespect that Alex Windsor felt being interrupted after her first win on AEW TV, we now have a match booked between Alex Windsor and Athena for next week's episode of Collision. So there went that. And then during Athena's promo package, we also got a Toni Storm appearance. So they battled promo wise themselves. Toni in the ring, Athena in the balcony. Then Toni eventually left the ring to go chase Athena down in the balcony, and then Athena ran away like a chicken shit heel that she is. I appreciate and admire what Toni Storm does from a promo perspective, not because of what she says, but because of how she goes about it. Like the promo battles that she has with the ladies, whoever she faces, she tries to do something different visually every time. So I can respect Toni doing that because it makes every feud feel different. So I would just wanted to give Toni Storm and the creative team over at AEW props for doing that. And hopefully, finally, we, as I was stating, Athena now on AEW TV, getting more time to shine, and hopefully fans get behind her and things of that nature. We will see more of Athena on Wednesday night, as she's going to be a part of commentary for Toni Storm's match against the Minion Billy Starks. Ricochet versus AR Fox was another banger. These guys have great chemistry. They've had great chemistry with each other for damn near 15 years, and it doesn't stop. And they're always trying new stuff with one another in the ring every time out. And I appreciate that about those two guys, innovators in their own right. And it just shows how talented they both are. Continuing the story of Ricochet, continuing to build his relationship with the boys from the Gates of Agony. So there's that of it there. So we'll see how that works out. And then I don't think anybody came out to save AR Fox. I might be forgetting or whatever, but AR Fox seems to need some help and some backup if he wants to take Ricochet down. Megan Bain versus Tay Mello. I really, really like this match, man. I think the ladies went to town against one another. Tay Mello hits hard. Megan Bain hits hard. They hit each other hard. Tay Mello went and dug deep into her not her judo background, but her BJJ background, and tried to tie Megan Bain up in different submissions and things of that nature. Megan Bain using her power and strength to get out of a lot of these submissions and different things, and using high impact moves to counter. But Tay Mello was game, and she was using heavy strikes and things of that nature, and her own power in order to thwart Megan Bain. But Megan Bain finally won out with a running Liger bomb, which I like her being able to use more than one finisher So AEW keeping Megan Bayne strong. I also think that they kept Ty Mello strong in this match. So it's been a good comeback for Ty Mello since she's returned to AEW TV full time. And the girls themselves, they started to bicker online between Wednesday and Saturday. So they were playing up their match and cutting promos on each other on social media. So they were leaning into that going into this match. Now I think that I don't think this will be the last time we see Megan Bayne versus Ty Mello in a match 1-on-1. We then had the $200,000 4-way tag team match here. Unfortunately, in this match, I do have to mention that the Guns, Austin and Colton Gunn, came back for the first time in a while in a match, and unfortunately, Colton Gunn got hurt in this match, during this match. It seems like he got hurt during a misstep, and he hurt his knee, and he needed to be helped out of this match. Good thoughts and things of that nature, and positive thoughts out to Colton Gunn. Hopefully he has a speedy recovery after said injury. But this match was all balls to the wall at the end of the day, and I can't say anything bad about this. They did end up doing a backstage segment between Big Bill and what the hell? And Juice Robinson in the locker room and whatnot. Because after Colton got hurt, obviously somebody has to step in and do some recon for the Bang Bang Gang, and it was up to Juice Robinson. Him and Big Bill had an exchange of words. For folks who don't know or forgot, Big Bill and Juice Robinson have a long-standing relationship. They were in NXT, aka FCW, together, so they have a long-standing relationship. Those two guys know each other very well. So I want to see where their one-on-one feud goes if they allow it. So that was cool to see Big Bill and Juice Robinson post-match get into something there. But the tag match, the multi-man tag match within itself was very fun. The Gates of Agony winning was more or less, something that I knew was going to happen. Being that the story being played up on commentary was that Ricochet has a vested interest in taking. He has this vested interest in taking AR Fox's winnings from all these matches that he's won for all this money. And so now with Gates of Agony winning a bag here in this match, it only allows Ricochet to get closer to some of that money that he's lost out on over the last several weeks, if not months. Kyle O'Reilly beating up Max Caster during the 5-minute challenge was cool. I think they're still figuring out what to do with Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong, now with Adam Cole gone due to injury. Max Caster continues to be his usual funny yet sarcastic self with this best wrestler alive gimmick, and the fans are, they're eating it up. So I think AEW is going to continue to do that. I knew that I was going to get what I was going to get out of Rush versus Katsuyori Shibata. If I got anything else, if I got anything less than what we got, I would have been heavily disappointed. But Rush and Shibata delivered. It was hard hitting, and throughout from beginning to end. And Rush winning makes sense, but now I have a further understanding as to why Rush doesn't appear on TV as often as he does. And it was news and it was information I did not know. During the week, Tony Khan had a sit-down interview for some sort of a podcast there, and he unveiled some information that he had never spoken directly about in terms of what had happened with his with AEW's relationship with AAA. And it came down to an incident where FTR was supposed to go down to AAA and win the AAA Tag Team Championships. They did something where they switched out Dragon Lee into the tag match, and eventually they changed the finish of the match. Dragon Lee gets the pin over, I believe it was Dax, Dragon Lee then cuts a promo on their AAA TV while holding these titles that FTR had been holding for a while with an FTR logo on it, and Dragon Lee then announcing that he was signing with the WWE at the time. No one in the match outside of Dragon Lee and Dralistico knew as to what was going on. WWE cameras were in attendance. WWE scouts and executives were also in attendance for this particular event. I mentioned all this and why does this have anything to do with Tony Khan and AEW? There was AEW talent in a match with at that point in time with a WWE signed talent, which was Dragon Lee, and they pinned the AEW talent and they took those titles off of the AEW talent. They were double crossed at the end of the day. AEW was, at least that's the feeling, by the heads of AAA at the time, be it Conan and all that stuff. And the narrative has been for a while that AEW were the ones who shitted on the relationship with AAA. But it seems that was not the case. Why do I bring up Rush? Rush, Dralistico, and Dragon Lee are brothers, blood brothers. And the reason as to why we don't see Rush a lot on TV and why he is not spotlighted as much as he should be, at least from a perspective standpoint, the optics of it, should I say, it seems that people believe in AEW that Rush knew what was going down with Dragon Lee that night. And that might be one of the biggest telltales as to why Rush doesn't get as much spotlight on AEW TV as people might like. So that was a bit of information.
My thing about it is, this is not the first time we've had a moment, and we've talked about this on the wrestling podcast. Mm-hmm. Tony Khan, for all the things I do not like about WWE, the one thing I hate that Tony Khan does is does this thing when he acts like he's above all the stuff, when he's just as petty as hell as anybody else. I look at him and I'm like, you are petty. Because even if this man knew what was going on, even if he knew what was going on, he's supposed to betray his brother and tell you. He's supposed to betray his brother and tell you.
Dolores, no, this is business at the end of the day. This is
but
business.
It's not my business.
You're making another company look bad. And at the end of the day,
it's not my company. Listen, they are independent contractors. That is on you and him. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That's an A-B conversation. I'm not seeing my way in. And I can understand why even if we were friends, if let's just say me and you are friends, and you like Delores, I'm gonna let you hear he. And I'm like, okay, cool. And my job to go to SP3 and go, hey, SP3, you know he about to leave you? He about to leave you. He gonna screw you over. That's not my thing. I'm not supposed to do that because that's between you and him. It ain't got nothing to do with me.
Yeah,
but you pick up my paycheck. I do what you tell me to do.
But the missing component of all this is that you're making another company look bad. That's an interpersonal thing. This is not an interpersonal thing. You're making one company look bad.
You're making the company look bad, yes. But again, I work for you. We not. I ain't none of my business with how they screwed you over. So you punishing me for something that they did. Yes, that's my brother, but they did that. I didn't do that. They did that. And for the fact that you are limiting this man who does, I'm not going to say he's the greatest of all time, but the fact that you would do this on the fact that they did this to you, AAA and my brother did this to you. I didn't have anything to do with this other than I was born. That's it. I worked for you and I was born. That was it. That shouldn't be on me. You should put me ROH. You want to punish me? Put me ROH. Put me on Collision. Put me anywhere. But don't punish me because somebody else did you dirty. That's like pounding somebody. You missed them and you hit me. I ain't did nothing to you. You have an argument with that man. And that's what I don't get what people say. They're like, he's not petty. He
Oh
is.
no, I'm not saying. Oh no, I'm never gonna sit here and
And
say
that's
that
my
Tony Khan
argument
is
with
petty.
people is that he is
I'm
petty.
not.
He does
I'm not
petty
gonna.
little
Yeah,
stuff like this
I'm not
that
gonna say
makes
that
you.
he's not. No, no, no. Absolutely not. I would never say that Tony Khan's not petty. But in this particular instance, I didn't. I'm saying I'm coming from my own perspective, saying I didn't know any of this went down, and that when
Oh
it
yeah,
did go down, um,
yeah.
and being that it did go down and things of that nature, now now from another perspective, it's like I understand it. I understand as to why he doesn't get on TV. I understand why he might be in the doghouse and things of that nature. Because regardless of the fact that that's your brother or not, you don't make the company you work for look bad if you know information at the end of the day. Just tell somebody, communicate with somebody. No one else knew what was going on.
Yeah. See, but that's the thing about it.
There's a lack of professionalism in that.
That's the thing about it.
You're gonna make the company you work for look bad for the sake of covering for your brother. That's a lack of professionalism, my man.
It
Don't
ain't
work
even
for
a
your
lack of
brother.
professionalism. In a business every day, do they tell you what they're gonna do? Do Tony tell you who he gonna hire? Do he tell you who he gonna give a pay raise to? That has to do with the company too. That thing is,
Tony's responsibility to Roosh is letting him know when he's going to appear on the show and whether or not he's going to win or lose. Not who
and
he's
that's what he,
hiring, and not
and
what
that's what
money.
he did. That's all he concerned about. He's like, and then if that's it, if that's all Tony's responsible for, then my responsibility is to do what you told me to do. I ain't got to do no more or less. And then if you paying me a producer role, if you paying me as an EVP, it's my job to tell you what's going on. As an employee, and you tell me this is my rounds and this is what I'm supposed to do. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna tell you nothing else. I don't know nothing. I don't see nothing. Because I bet you he don't tell you everything he do. He don't tell y'all who he hired, who he fired, who he do whatever. So don't you if we ain't got that type of relationship, I don't know you. I'm gonna just come to work, do what I'm told, and leave. And we've heard a lot of wrestlers at AEW say that. I don't want to know nothing. I just want to come do my job, and I want to leave. I don't want no mess because when you involve people, like when you had the CM Punk incident, Cody Rhodes, the EVP situation, the whole Britt Baker, her feeling comfortable to talk and do stuff like she was the boss. When you cross them lines, they get messy.
Yeah.
So at that point, I'm like, first of all, this is my brother. Second of all, this ain't my business. Okay. That between you, Triple A, and him. Now, if you had a problem, you should have, and I bet you that Dax and them didn't get pinned like this is the screw job. They knew they were gonna get pinned before the match happened.
Yeah. So you're right about the part that they knew they were going to get pinned because they were supposed to lose the match. The part they didn't know about was Dragon Lee was not supposed to be in that match. He was not supposed to be in that match.
But again,
when that happened last minute, and then when Dragon Lee got the pin over Dax, that's when FTR went to Tony and they said, "Hey, something fishy is going on down here, and we don't know what the hell's going on. Like this wasn't supposed to go down the way it was supposed to go down." And then for that to happen, Dragon Lee to get the pin over Dax, and then for this particular moment to happen where Dragon Lee then announces that he's being signed to WWE and that appear on WWE TV only makes the other company look bad.
We all know that when you do even with Stephanie Vaquer, you do the, hey, I'm going to WWE, or Julia, they follow you. That's how we knew that they were going to WWE. It was because they were getting followed by the cameras behind the scenes stuff. That they were talking about it on air. Dax and Cash know when they saw the WWE cameras backstage and stuff.
That's when they reached out to Tony because they didn't know what was going on.
That's what I'm saying. And so my thing about it is, your employees before the match saw these cameras. They said, "Hey, something fishy is going on. We see WWE cameras." Mm-hmm. Once you got pinned, I don't care who it was, you knew that they were there for somebody.
Right, but they didn't know who necessarily. They didn't know who until the match happened.
At that point,
it was too late to communicate that, Dolores.
But that's the thing about it. If nobody communicated that, you knew you were gonna get screwed somehow, some way. Okay, because not only I think during that pay-per-view, I forgot who else was down there.
At that point, it was somebody else down there.
I think Marshall was down there too.
Right.
So you had other wrestlers, so you didn't know who was gonna get screwed.
Correct.
At that moment in time, you should have knew I'm gonna get screwed somehow. WWE is not just down here on a random match for a random wrestler. It has to be somebody worthwhile and somebody that makes me look stupid. That's immediately what I would say. And then the thing about it is, you let it continue. You let the then you hold this against this man. And it's been I don't know how many. It's been a while since that
It's
happened.
been 2 years since that happened.
Yeah,
And
and you
at the end,
punishing this man for something that in his. My thing about it, if it's in my contract to tell you stuff, and now you've even had FTR come back and on podcasts and stuff beef with you about certain things. So it seems like Tony, loyalty for you, nobody has loyalty. Nobody has loyalty. Everybody who has loyalty with you that they consider a friendship or a bond has eventually in the end come out and say, he ain't what we ain't that cool with each other. And we had this years ago. Back I tried to tell people years ago when not Swerve. What's her name? She's married to Cedric Alexander.
Swole.
Swole. I want to call her Swerve for a second. Swole told us how she thought you were a friend until you dismissed her because she had some polite things to tell you about your company. Then it was Lady Frost. She had some things to say about your company. You tried to kick her back in. So it's like this is a running thing with you. So if I was on the outside looking in as Roosh, if I tell you, you still gonna punish me because my brother did it. If I don't tell you, you still gonna punish me. Now the only thing that's different is if I tell you I betrayed my brother, so now I'm getting punished and my brother don't like me. If I tell you, if I don't tell you, you still gonna punish me, but I still got a brother. So at this point, you know what I'm gonna choose. I'm always choose my brother because I'm not gonna mess up this relationship, even if I do know. Because you're gonna punish me. You still gonna be mad, regardless if I tell you or not. You still gonna punish me.
I doubt that, to be quite honest, because those situations are all different. That's just my take on it. My thing about it is that, and we all live different lives, so we all have different perspectives on different things. To end the point here, you're not in this instance. It's like, you're not dogging out your brother because Dragon Lee wasn't necessarily signed to AEW. So what does that do to anybody in that particular instance, right? He's not a talent that TK can do anything about. But for all intents and purposes, if the outcome just has the company and the company's wrestlers looking bad, and on top of everything else, it makes you look bad, but you still have a brother, it's one of those things where it's like, is it beneficial to me at the end of the day to hold my brother down if I'm just still wallowing in shit? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna still wallow and crap, yeah. I might as well just stick with my brother and we just be cool together. But and if I'm still holding him down and I'm good enough, maybe I'll get an opportunity in WWE with my contractor.
Yeah, but look at where his brother's at now. At the end of the day, my point is,
it's a gamble. It's a gamble either way, and
it's a gamble either way. But
yeah, and how did you expect that you're gonna get a fair shot with Conan? We all knew that Conan was hanging out in WWE, talking to the WWE officials, and he was on the Hall of Fame. How did you expect that you were gonna get a fair shot compared to WWE?
The Conan thing has always been tricky because that relationship that he has, obviously with Mexican talent, and obviously being the head booker over in AAA, and how regarded he is by certain talent, not all talent.
Yeah, certain talent he let a couple of people get beat up outside.
He'll get the benefit of the doubt in that particular regard. But in this instance, like I said, this was new information for me. It was just like, yo, man, like, why do this? I put this on Conan. I don't put this on Dragon Lee. or whatever the case is, because it was Conan's call at the end of the day. He's the one who made the change. But you then understand, like, for me, my perspective is I understand it. I get what you're saying, Delores, about, Tony shouldn't be petty. He shouldn't be knocking Roosh. You're right about that. But it's like, I can't sit here and say I don't understand why he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah, he has every right to be mad. My thing about it is up around that time, because I do pop in and out of Conan's podcast, he had a lot of disparaging things to say about AEW.
Yes, he did.
He had nothing but good things to say about WWE. And he even talked about the experiences when he did, he was doing the 1 or 2 vignettes that with the I forgot their name now, that's Santana on the left.
Ortiz?
That he
with Santana and Ortiz?
Yeah, that he had bad experiences there, that nobody know what to do. Then that's around the time everybody else was coming out, like Lady Frost and some other people talking about their experiences there and how it was horrible. And then I forgot who it was that talked about the women's division and them coming over to America and not knowing anything and not being told anything and having to depend on Vicky to help them get the stuff that they needed to get. And she wasn't even a part of like management. She was a talent just like they were. So it was always something. But every time it came up to Tony, he never really, to me, took responsibility. He's never said to himself, I saw that coming. I saw the train coming. I didn't get out of the way and it hit me.
Yeah,
he never says it.
You're right about that. And also, I don't think, or at least I didn't see it or hear it or whatever the case is. Anyone directly ask him or have a conversation with him about those things. I think all these years later, not all of them. He's learned from some of his mistakes, and he's course corrected with some of those things. There's still things that he's working on, and whatnot, as any growing company does, right? At the end of the day, but not to take away from this whole situation, it's like, man, this is something that it's muddy, it's ugly, it's personal, it's also professional. It's just so layered and like
it's
that.
Wrapped up in a lot of stuff. And I can understand being mad, but at a certain point, for the betterment of your company, you can't keep punishing this man like this. It's been years.
He's working. It's not like he's not working. You know what I'm saying? But it to me, it makes it, not that it makes sense. I understand the why now. And it's like, man, Tony went to bat for Mordos at CMLL. He finally got Mordos back at CMLL. Why not Roosh? And it's like, okay, maybe I understand why now.
Yeah, how much you want to bet when Roosh's contract comes up, he gonna resign that man? It'll be some kind of injury time or something like that. He does that.
I don't think Roosh has been injured. But secondly, when his contract does come up, I don't expect Roosh to come back. To be honest, if I'm being honest,
I think Tony will find it'll be like Brian. It'll be something. He'll find something to keep this man for another year, 2 years, or whatever.
But Brian wanted to
find a way.
Brian wanted to stay. That's different. I don't think Roosh wants to stay. If I'm being
honest.
Brian
in the interviews, him and his wife said that they were ready to go, and then next thing he found out, like everybody else, that his contract had been extended. He called around to find out, and they said, "Yeah, your contract had been extended." Yeah, he was expected to leave. They were keeping him there, even with like the pettiness. I mean, when it came to Ricky Starks, I laughed at that stuff. And he showed up to GCW. They snatched him. Yeah. And I forgot who they put in from AEW in the spot. And I'm looking at them like, so it's okay for this man to show up, but it's not okay for Ricky Starks.
Yeah, I forget how all that went down. But yeah, all the individual situations are all.
It was Chris Jericho. That's who took the spot.
Oh yeah, that's
Chris
right.
Jericho.
Oh my god.
Yes.
I forgot about that. But yeah, all those individual situations they have their own particularities and differences and all that jazz. But it's like I said, I brought it up here just because I saw him on TV yesterday, and I was like, hey, Roosh is here. He wasn't on, Grand Slam Mexico. I ain't seen him in weeks, and it's like, what the hell's going on?
But you know what? I can appreciate. Listen, I just be pointing out that he's petty because A lot
for
of
sure.
people appreciate. A lot of AEW fans won't see it. Listen, I'm a WWE fan too, but I admit they got some flaws. They got some big flaws. AEW, some of them fans be like, he Jesus, he walking on water. I'm like, no, he got some problems, y'all. He got some problems too. But what gets me is that I can appreciate somebody being that petty that they like, it's 2 years later, and you know what, I still mad. And you still ain't getting on TV. I can appreciate that. That's my kind of dude right
Yeah, I mean, I mean, at the end of the day, I've always seen TK as the kind of like dude where, and I felt this way in life before, where it's like, you get tired of being stepped on by people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when folks take advantage of things, um, you just want them to continue to understand you can't take advantage here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know, man. It's just yeah. We'll see what
there.
happens.
it's
We'll see
it's
what
the it's the
happens.
fact that I just appreciate that he's owning up to his petty. Okay,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
saying I'm petty, and
absolutely,
I'm he petty LaBelle. Okay, he petty LaBelle. That's what he is. He up here
absolutely.
hitting them high notes. But ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go on to the next show, which was TNA Impact 1095. Very short, very sweet. I'm not gonna tell you to go back for any of this. A non-title match. We had Moose defeating Sammy Callahan. We had Order 4. Yes, that's they name now. Order 4, which is John Hotch, John Schuyler, and Mustafa Ali versus the System. It ended in a no contest. The System was Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, and JDC. We had TB defeating Danny Luna. Joe Hendry and Mike Santana defeated Frankie Kazarian and Trick Williams. To be honest with you, the only match that I remember and the only match I was trying to pay attention to was Joe Hendry and Mike Santana defeating Frankie Kazarian and Trick Williams because the setup for Slammiversary. That's the only thing I cared about. Jay News, did you watch any of this?
No.
Well, we're gonna go on to the next one. I mean, I listen. I wouldn't tell you to run back. We had Prestige Wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. It came on the 13th. And guess what? You can go back and watch it because it came on YouTube. It was Elliot Tyler defeating Cassie Ferreira, Charlie Avil, Drexel, Jack Hammer, Jaden Jawel, excuse me, I pronounced your name wrong. Sebastian Wolf, Sid Silem, Sledge Hedge, a mystery opponent, which I never did figure out who that man was. I tried to go back 3 times. Spencer Scott and Zay Perez. We had Travis Williams defeat Jordan Cruz. Matt Brendigan defeated Matt Cardona. The inspiration of Cassie Lee and Jessica McKay defeating Brooke Havoc and Elena Black. We had Cody Chun defeating Jordan Oliver and Man Like Darius and Mustafa Ali. We had Drexel defeating Stu Young. For the Prestige Tag Team title match, we had Midnight Heat, which was Eddie Pearl and Ricky Gibson defeating the Dark Order of Evil Uno and John Silver. And for the Prestige title steel cage match, Judas Icarus defeated Alan Angels to win the title. Okay. Um, I would say I like the inspiration match. I kind of wonder if this was the match, and I can't remember the match totally, if Elena Black got hurt in this match. Not for sure. But because sometimes her selling looks like she's in true pain. So I can't tell you if she was in true pain or it was just a sale. Cody, I would say the Cody Chun, Jordan Oliver, Man Like the Reese, Mustafa Ali match is something I would go back and watch. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go on to my favorite company in the world, GCW, Game Changer Wrestling. It went along with JCW this week to make a show called Showcase Showdown. Do 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 do. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, Effie and Joey Janela defeated Vin DL48. These names they coming up with now, I swear to God. Christian Napier and Otis Cougar. Now, this show was on the 17th on Triller TV. We had JCW Women's Title 4-Way match. Alice Crawley defeated Christina Marie, Hallie J, Rachel Armstrong. We had Atticus Cougar defeat Man Like Darius for the JCW American title match. Caleb Conley defeated Cocaine. Okay, we have for the GCW tag team title match, YDMP Alex Price and Jordan Oliver defeated PME Mariano T and Philly C. For the JCW tag team title match, the Brothers of Construction, which is Rollo the Clown and Yabo the Clown, defeated the Outbreak of Abel Booker and Jackson Crowley. We had a death match. Dr. Redacted defeated Bam Sullivan. We had Two Tough Tony, Mickey Knuckles, and Willie Mack defeat Anthony Green, Kobe Carino, and J.P. Grayson. We had JCW heavyweight title death match. Matt Tremont defeated Madman Pondo to win the championship. Ladies and gentlemen, out of all those, I would say watch the Effie and Georgianella match. The you want a good laugh or a good little funny fun here. The JCW tag team title match. Ladies and gentlemen, GCW. Last night we were bashed at the ballpark, ladies and gentlemen. And guess what? That thing was emptier than a can of Coke. Okay? That ballpark was empty. GCW, learn not to keep doing this to yourself. It was yesterday on the 19th. We had Grim Reefer, okay, with his who had Julius Smokes in his corner. Defeated Allen Angels and Austin Luke and Jay Lion, JP Grayson, and Man Like Doris. For the JCW Tag Team Title 4-Way match, YDMP defeated the Prospects, High Seas, and to infinity and beyond, ladies and gentlemen. We had Jonathan Gresham defeated Deanna Perrazzo. Good match. Go back and watch it. Good match. Go back and watch it. We then had, because I know I'm talking to y'all because I know Jay News didn't watch it. Ladies and gentlemen, right before this match, it was I'm assuming a rapper named Mims come out. They booed him in his own city. I mean, they booed him bad. And he was trying to talk smack about Matt Cardona and the rest of them because he said GCW is the only place who came to his city. Okay, I think it was they were in Long Island or the Bronx or something, and they didn't check in, but they checked in with him, so he liked GCW. But as they booed him, the person who came out to save him was Mike Santana, and so Mike Santana defeated Matt Cardona. We had a 6-man tag team hardcore match where one Kyle Manders, Matt Tremont, and Priscilla Kelly, as we talked about earlier. Priscilla Kelly came out by herself, and she was just gonna face them, but then Matt Tremont came out, and then one Kyle Manders came out. Defeated VNDL48, which is Atticus Cougar, Christian Napier, and Otis Cougar. For the JCW title match, Masha Slamovich defeated Gringo Loco. Enjoyed this match. Go back and watch it. A hardcore match, Mance Warner defeated Tommy Dreamer. Yes, that Tommy Dreamer. And no, I'm not going to say it was great. Amazing Red defeated Marcus Mathers. Amazing Red has been on this, I think me and Jay News been talking about this since last year. On this world tour of I'm about to retire, and I don't see it happening, but he said. GCW World Title match, Effie defeated Charles Mason. Now, if you all do not remember, I did not tell you, but last week, J News, I'm gonna put this up so we can see J News' face when I tell you this. J News, last week we had a show called Bosses of Our Bosses. I didn't talk about this, but you know how they do the typical wooden skewers to the top of the head?
Yeah.
Okay. Normally you just do like that and you get them out your head. Well, I forgot who it was. Stamped it in Effie's head so bad that he had to he pulled half of the screw out of his head. Like it was down deep in his skull and he had to pull it out. I really didn't think he was going to make this match, but he did. And I was like, that's a miracle in itself. Ladies and gentlemen, we're on to something because Jay News is back. Jay News is back. Everybody tell your mama, Jay News is back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're first going to talk about the G1 climax. But we're going to talk about some of the things that most of you all do not know, such as the participants and how the tournament works. The G1 climax is a round robin split into two blocks of 10 wrestlers each. Over the course of 3 weeks, each competitor faces each member of their own block in single matches with standard time limit of 30 minutes. Points are awarded as follows. You win, you get 2 points. You draw, you win one. You lose, you don't get no points. At the conclusion of the block play, the two wrestlers with the highest point totals from Block A and Block B advance to the tournament final. Should two or more wrestlers on the points of the head of the result determine who progresses. If their match ends in a draw, an additional tie break criteria comes into place, may be applied. The climactic final is contested under a 60-minute time limit where the Victor earns the coveted G1 trophy and typically a future shot at the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, ladies and gentlemen. And as you see in Block A, we have Hiroki Goto, Oleg Boltin, Yuya Uemura, Yoda Tsuji, David Finlay, Evil, Sonata, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Callum Newman, and Oiwa. In Block B, we have El Phantasmo, Shota Umino, Shingo Takagi, Zack Sabre Jr., Great Khan, Gabe Kidd, Ren Narita, and Konosuke Takeshita, Drilla Maloney, and Yoshihashi. Now, here are the stylings of J News.
So the tournament started yesterday on Saturday on the 19th. So this was all there. No prelim matches, no prelim tag matches or anything like that. Just straight block matches. So first match was Block B. It was Yoshihashi defeating Shingo Takagi. We then had Block A match. Evil defeated Callum Newman. Drill Maloney defeated Great Khan. Yuya Uemura defeated Oleg Boltin. Shota Umino defeated El Phantasmo. Ryohei Oiwa defeated David Finlay. Konosuke Takeshita defeated Gabe Kidd. Yoda Tsuji defeated Sonata. Ren Narita defeated Zack Sabre Jr. and Hiroshi Tanahashi defeated Tai Chi. Now, I have a bit of information. We will go over what happened on the 20th next week. We're going to preview those matches and a couple of other dates that are happening during the week. But I did want to give folks a bit of information. Unfortunately, on this night yesterday, the 19th, Gabe Kidd hyperextended his knee and he got injured. So as of right now, Gabe Kidd is forfeiting matches. He said that he might come back before the end of the tournament, seeing how his knee does. But for right now, Gabe Kidd is not in the tournament and he's forfeiting his matches for the time being until he can return to the tournament.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. I'm saying my man is gone. My man is gone. Gabe, call me. I can hear you. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, we're on, and you already know what time it is. What time is it? Preview time, ladies and gentlemen. New Japan Pro Wrestling. We're going to start off with G1 Climax Day 2.
All right, so the matches that happened this morning on the 20th, we had Block A matches. It's going to be Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Callum Newman. Block B, Drill Maloney versus Shota Umino. Block A, Ryohei Oiwa versus Oleg Boltin. Block B, Yoshihashi versus Ren Narita. Block A, Sonata versus David Finlay. Block B, Shingo Takagi versus Great Khan. Block A, Evil versus Yoda Tsuji. Block B, El Phantasmo versus Konosuke Takeshita. Block A had Tai Chi versus Yuya Uemura. And the last Block B match, which was announced, which is supposed to be Zack Sabre Jr. versus Gabe Kidd, was forfeited. So Zack Sabre Jr. actually got the points for that match.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go on to the next thing, which is TNA Wrestling Slammiversary over there in Long Island. We're going to have TB versus Indy Hartwell. TNA, which is happening today you can catch it on Triller TV or your pay-per-view provider. But they've been working with Triller TV more, them and AEW. TB versus Indy Hartwell, the TNA Knockouts World Title match, the Elegance brand, Ash by Elegance and Heather by Elegance versus the Inspiration of Cassie Lee and Jesse McKay. We have Mustafa Ali versus Cedric Alexander. We have the TNA World Title Tag Team 4-Way Ladder match which is the Nimmons, Nick and Ryan Nimmons versus the Hardys, Jeff and Matt Hardy versus the Rascals, Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz versus First Class, AJ Francis, and Casey Navarro. We have the TNA X Division title match, Moose versus Leon Slater. We have TNA Knockouts World title / WWE NXT World title match. We have JC Jane versus Masha Slamovich. We have TNA World title 3-way match. Trick Williams defends against Joe Hendry and Mike Santana. Back to J News and the New Japan for night 3 of the G1 Climax.
Yeah, so night 3 is going to go down on the 22nd, which is on Tuesday. We're going to get some tag matches on the prelim side of things. This is going to be a Block A specific show. So prelim matches, we have Drilla Maloney and Taiji Ishimori of the War Dogs go up against Shomakato and Yoshihashi. El Phantasmo and Jado are going to go up against House of Torch members Ren Narita and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. United Empire members Great O'Khan and Jacob Austin Young are going to go against the Don Callis family members Konosuke Takeshita and Rocky Romero. Daiki Nagai and Shingo Takagi of the unaffiliated are going up against the Bullet Club War Dog members, which is probably going to be Gato and David Finlay in this case instead of Gabe Kidd, being that Gabe is injured. Then we're going to see Tetsuya Murashima and Shota Umino go up against TMDK members Hartley Jackson and Zack Sabre Jr. I might be wrong here. No, Finlay has a match. So you're probably going to see someone else fill in for Gabe Kidd in that Bullet Club War Dog tag match. But for the G1 Climax, 8-block matches, we have Cal Newman versus Ryohei Oiwa, Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Oleg Boltin, Sonata versus Evil, Tai Chi versus David Finlay, and Yota Tsuji versus Yuri Uemura. So you're probably going to see Drilla Maloney in place of Gabe Kidd in that Bullet Club War Dog match. Probably working double duty, probably more than likely, if anything. But we'll see how it all works out, or they'll cancel that match out altogether. So that's the matches on the 22nd. Then we have the matches on the 23rd. We have Oleg Boltin and Toru Yano going up against House of Torture members Sonata and Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Shomakato and Yuri Uemura. Going up against United Empire members Cal Newman and Jacob Austin Young. Masatoru Yasuda and Tai Chi are going to go up against House of Torture members Togo and Evil. Daiki Nagai and Yota Tsuji go up against TMDK members Harley Jackson and Ryohei Oiwa. Hiroshi Tanahashi and Katsuya Murashima going up against Bullet Club War Dog members David Finlay and Gato. Then we have Block B action. We're going to have Yoshihashi versus Drilla Maloney. Phantasmo versus Aaron Narita. Konosuke Takeshita versus Great O'Khan. Shingo Takagi is supposed to have a match against Gabe Kidd, but that'll probably get forfeited. And then we have Zack Sabre Jr. versus Shota Umino as the main event of night 3. On to night 4, which happened on the 25th. Shomakato and Yoshihashi are going up against United Empire's Great O'Khan and Jacob Austin Young.
The last one was night 4. This is night 5.
Night 5. Bullet Club War Dog members Drilla Maloney and Taiji Ishimori are going to against Bullet Club War Dog members Gato and whoever they find to fill in for Gabe Kidd. Phantasmo and Jado are going to go up against TMDK and Harley Jackson and Zack Sabre Jr. Shota Umino and Tomoaki Hano going to face off against House of Torture members Ren Narita and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Daiki Nagai and Shingo Takagi go up against Don Callis family members Konosuke Takeshita and Rocky Romero. Back to Block A action, we're going to see Sonata versus Oleg Boltin, Yuri Uemura versus Cal Newman, Tai Chi versus Evil, Yota Tsuji versus Ryohei Oiwa, and then Hiroshi Tanahashi versus David Finlay to be the main event of that night.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of us previewing the New Japan Pro Wrestling. We are going to move on to Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling MLP. And they're having the Downtown Showdown. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing listed for the Downtown Showdown, but it doesn't also list where it's going to be at either. So normally it's on Triller, and normally they would have it out by now, but I don't see it. So we'll just review it next week. On the 26th is when this show is happening. So I'll watch it and tell you about it. Okay, now this is the end. This is the song that doesn't end, okay? But we're on to I just showed the spotlight. Spotlight, ladies and gentlemen. I did a spotlight this week. You don't stay. It's a Hangman Adam Page. I want to thank this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful man for saving me from the Death Riders and John Moxley. Because if he had won, I would have came in and had to riot. Okay? Hangman has had some good story arcs. We've seen him have to fight his best friends to making amends with the enemy because Hangman had a newborn child who Swerve decided to break into his house and put his shirt over his child's face. Uh, Also, I want to know where his wife was. What was she doing? Uh, he's also had to burn a man's house down literally to get the respect that he deserved. And for that, I think after that hard fought match, he deserved to be the spotlight of the week. J News, what do you feel about Hangman Adam Page?
Hangman Adam Page is the AEW Men's World Champion. He is the main character on AEW TV, no matter what anybody else wants to tell you or make you believe. Hangman Adam Page is as complex of a character as I've ever experienced on a wrestling television show. He relates well. He cuts one hell of a promo when he's impassioned. And yeah, man, he's great. Hangman Adam Page is great. Out of all the current champions of all the major promotions right now, which includes the current IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, Zack Sabre Jr., I am taking Hangman Adam Page out of all the current champions right now. He's hands down my fave. Second is probably Walter. I refuse to use that damn G word. And then probably Zach, and then there's other guys out there who are doing well in their respective promotions. But Hanger's the man, and props to him, and thankfully he did end up winning at All In.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I so much appreciate that. Let's get back to the Hit the Rope Studios. I'm gonna take J News over there, ladies and gentlemen, because it's what time is it? It's time to tell J News what ChatGPT had to say about him, and him to tell you about himself too. This week it is J News. That's a good ass band right there. He knows his wrestling, break it down like he in the ring himself. Sports commentary on point. Movies, he be reviewing them like he directed them. Real talk, he's smart, solid, and real with it. You need to stop playing and go check him out for real, for
real. All right, ChatGPT for the win as usual. So what was I gonna say? As per usual, I think. Oh, thanks, Delores. She put up my one of my freaking logo thingies up there. So yeah, folks, look, check the Delores always puts up the QR code. The QR code leads you to my link tree. The link tree leads you to different links, my social medias. You can check me out on Twitter at JohnYFNMG. You can check me out on Instagram. You can check me out on Letterboxd, which is where I review movies in written form. I am an avid moviegoer, so I go to the movies about 3 to 4 times a week. This week's going to be a heavily busy week for me. I actually had to cancel a movie today because I knew we were going to probably run long here on the podcast. So it's still going to be a busy week for me. So stay tuned to my Letterboxd account for some movie reviews. All the movies that I watch, unless I specifically say it in my reviews, I watch in movie theaters. I think out of all the reviews I've written on Letterboxd so far in the last 2 years, only one of them has been a movie that I had to watch at home, and that's because that's on Netflix and nobody else. Everything else I watch in movie theaters. We have a very diverse and cool film community and society here in New York. So I get to watch different movies in movie theaters around the city, old and new. So there's that. Always stay in tune with us here. Hit the Roast Podcast every Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also check me out on True Heel Heat um, every once in a while, every 1 to 2 weeks when we talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm also on True Heel Heat talking about AEW pay-per-views. So we do previews and reviews on those there. And yeah, that is about it for me. So appreciate everybody, as always, for chiming in when they chimed in. And yeah, thanks, Dolores.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all don't go check out J News, I swear I'm about to come out. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna do I always got a rap lyric or something. And mine comes from a song called Standing by Monica, and it's rapped by Ludacris. I know y'all like Ludacris. Y'all, yeah, I chose that. It says, "Cause I'm the truth and nothing, but it's like my hands on the Bible, and it's survival of the fittest, the realest. It's not a facade. Still standing on my 2 feet, cause I'm a child of God. Do something." I want to let y'all know I am very believe that you ain't gonna have nothing till you do right by me, and that I'm my God, my God, my God, my God. I call him my God. He don't play about me. Okay. So that is my rap. Ooh, I'm touching my microphone. My rap lyric for this week. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go into some things. I won't be doing too much promos or anything like that. We'll keep it simple. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Dolores of Dolores the Designs. Um, here to make your wildest dreams come true. As you all saw by the banner, my banner has changed. So I am a pink girl in my pink world, here to assist you in expanding your world. Ladies and gentlemen, come on over to Delores Designs. I got you. I got help you. Intros, outros, logos, websites, domains, everything. Your girl got you. Hey, I'm even making rhinestone templates. Hey, Tori. I'm over there on Instagram. Thank you to Tori. I think it's Syed J3GS Farms, and we had a new person, MK something over there that are watching us. Hey, how you doing? Tori and Brian said, "Hey, Delores and J News. Hey there. We see you. We see you. We see you." Uh, I also want to say, if you want to contact me, this is how you contact me. For those who are worried, that is not my real phone number. Okay. I'm going to eventually put up my scheduler again with a different place so I can control it, because if you all do not know, I had a stalker and had to take my scheduler down. That's what happens when you out here on these social media streets. Uh, so you can contact me, and the QR code goes to all my social media. I have social media everywhere. Where I am going to begin to now get on place to focus on this channel, focus on this podcast, and get everything back to order. So we will be on every social platform. That's how you get in touch with me. The Hit the Roast Podcast is linked on my social media too. Um, I want to say the Hit the Roast Podcast comes on 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, ladies and gentlemen, on me and J News channel. I don't care if me or J News is not here. We go live on both of each other's channels. So you don't miss an episode with us, and we'll have good fun with you. Okay? Make sure you check out our Spotify. I know what you about to say, Dolores. You gonna upload this stuff? Yes. I've been downloading it, and I'm in the process of getting to upload all the episodes that I've missed. I'm very sorry. Life be life, and you all know I do not forget about you at all. I'm just taking my time and getting it done so we can do it right. Ladies and gentlemen, leave that up there because this is the Hit the Road podcast. If you haven't, please go check out Slim Jim Longfoot. He has been on the channel plenty of times. Goat 1408, he's a black comic book artist who makes great graphics. Please go check him out. Go get his new books, his new comic book that's out. He also has some books on Amazon. If you check it out, please go check that out. Ladies, ladies and gentlemen, have you been to the, well, not gentlemen, it's ladies only, to the women's closet, a special place where we come together, fellowship, have fun, get together, network. It's a great place to unload. at the end of the week, every Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am always in there. I'm always having a good time. Always getting to express and learn and grow in the women's closet. Now, you go to the educatednatural.com/woman to get in there. Now, for those who don't know, the Educated canceled her memberships on YouTube. I cried. I cried, J News. I cried. But guess what, J News? She has opened them up on her website. So you go to the educatednatural.com. You can go over there and get it, sign up for the women's closet. You can sign up for a membership, but you take a survey first, and once you're approved, you pay and you get into the membership. That's to make sure that people are there for the right reasons. She doesn't want you being on a level that you are not necessarily ready for. So there's a $10 level and there's a $45 level. Okay. So if you feel like you are ready, you have all the things in place, you're ready to go ahead and put your business into action, sign up for the $45 level. If you like, I just want to learn to get my foot in the door, to get a start at $10 level. Also, be notified on educatednatural.com when session 2 of the mastermind comes to happen. Okay? So, like I said, I enjoy you all. I appreciate you all. And guess what, y'all? Sister Kane is over 400. I'm over 400 now. So that is a achievement. Y'all saw that popped out there? It's an achievement. Now we're trying to get to 500. Okay? And I'm almost at 1,000 watch hours. So pat on the back, pat on the back. I appreciate that. Now we gotta get J News up to 400. Okay? We gotta get J News up to, I think, where's J News at right now? Let's check in real time.
Nowhere near that.
We're gonna catch you. J News is at 18. I need y'all to get him to at least 50, okay? By the end of next month. 50. If 50 y'all can go check out J News over there. Because we're trying to coax him to come back and do videos, okay? To tell y'all the ins and the outs and the funs of all the things he sees. Okay? Let me take my little barcode off the top of it. Check out J News, please. Please. Because we know he's a good man, Savannah. You need to go check him out. I don't want to have a 2-piece and a biscuit nobody over J News, okay? Because look at me. Look at me. I will. Okay, I don't want to have to do that. Just not who's there, 2-piece and a biscuit. Because you didn't go check out J News. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, again, go to J News. See that right there? It told you to like and subscribe. Hey, Delores, like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Now, this is the point where I normally don't do this, but I'm going to ask you, anybody got any questions? Anybody got any questions? See, up at the top, I ask you, do you got a question? Because I know some of y'all be asking me on the fly, what was that? I didn't understand what that was. You got a question? You got a chance to ask it. But if I see nobody, I don't see nobody asking any questions, I want to say thank you for joining me and J News. We appreciate you. But I'm going to end it like I always end it. J News, we burned it down for almost 2 hours. We burned it down. And you know what I got to do? I got to tell them, J News, baby girl, baby boy, please keep your clothes on. I know it's hot. I know we burned it, but I'm not trying to see all that. Okay? You blinded me with all that out there like that. But J News, I think I can help them. That's if I cut off the lights. Look at that. Cut off the lights. And please don't light that candle because it's going to make it hot in here. But you know what? I've enjoyed my time with you. I think J News enjoyed his time with you too. And until then, we want to say peace.